Okay. I think stream started. Just I'll see once and I'll let you know. We'll start with an introduction. That is our primary thing, right? I don't know why. Okay, I just went to turn off, not turn off, but lower the speed of fan. So if anyone is gonna watch, to let me know. If I'm not gonna see the stream, so sorry for if anyone is gonna comment.
Okay. I think
They-
the stream started.
No,
Just
because I won't be able to focus. I can focus on one thing only at a time. By the way, so it's day 2 of AI learning, and actually I haven't practiced it because I just before it. That's why I took a little more time. I was expecting to start it at almost 1 o'clock, because thing is like I was doing something like, so I was streaming till 1 o'clock, I think 12 o'clock, almost, because I won't be able to focus. Almost 12 o'clock, and after that I had food. By the way, no, not
So
1
it's
o'clock.
day 2 of AI learning.
So forget about it. Oh, first
I
I
haven't
stop
practiced
it
it because
because
I
I just irritate me. Yeah. So today, yesterday, I have gone through, you can say, one third video, and he covered like how to create his skills and how to create basically Claude.md, so where you are going to give some extra context. Okay. And for example, if you have you are working in an organization, there are some standards, so you can write out down. So it is root file at the root level, so .cloud folder, and there you are going to create cloud file, and there also you are going to create a skill. So I'm just wanted to test out a skill, so definitely I need to add some credits, but I added just before. First I tried with one card, so it wasn't enabled, international transactions wasn't enabled in that card, so it failed. Then second time I tried with my another card, so I think there was an international transactions were enabled. So okay, so I have to like it's a $11.18 or I don't know. So they are taking $1 something tax. So I hate it. I don't know why, but government is taking too much tax, man. For me, $1 is too much. I don't know why when I'm paying a tax, I feel like, why you are taking taxes, and if you are not providing services properly. So that's why this is the point. Like I feel like we should ask government, like they are accountable for everything, right? If they are not doing it properly, so we should ask them. At least I'm paying a little bit, but still I feel like, okay, suppose if my salary will be like something like where I have to pay a lot of tax, then I will definitely feel the pain. I can feel the pain of the people who are paying a lot of taxes, and their concern is right. Like if they are not getting some in return, something like a security, or it could be facilities, health related, then definitely they will. They are right in their location, their point. They are right. Okay, so forget about it. So I added the credit, but it is not visible. So I just asked, and seems like it will take time to reflect. So today I'm not gonna practice it. Maybe I'll start from tomorrow, or because I can't practice it if it's not working, right? So okay, let's jump and watch video. So far everything is going great, good, smooth, and I'm planning like, okay, what I'll do. So I'll create a skill, a few skills I'm gonna test out, and I will try to connect with the Snowflake, and I'll provide like how it's going to work. Like I'll provide the current details and all. I don't know how to start. Just I know skills, like it's just you are creating markdown file, and it will fetch from the information. So I want to deep dive, but before that, like how it's working, how these skills are going to be translated, is it rag or how exactly it is working, like is these skills how it's fetched, like it creates some vector or what. So I'm gonna explore it. That's why I said like I'm gonna start with top down approach first. I wanted, because I have gone through few videos of Anish Lamba, so there I learned a little bit basics of AI, what is embedding. Still I'm not I haven't like learned in depth, or I haven't deep dive, but yeah, I know little bit. What will I say if I haven't deep dive? Okay, okay, I did not deep dive. So, but yeah, I know basics of it. So how it's work, and even I'm going through like a today only. I wasn't aware. Like I registered for one workshop in my company, and it's related to Gen AI, and it's more about Databricks. So today there was a lecture. So I planned like I will build something. Actually, it's pending like since long few weeks. So I thought like I will work on, like once I'll go office I will work on that. But unluckily, or maybe I wanted there was a workshop, so it's a 4-day workshop. So I'm learning that only. So it's like 2:30 to 6:30, 4 hours of duration. And yeah, I have a lot of questions, so I have asked few questions to the chat. Still I haven't like turned on my mic and asked, but I was asking the questions. Okay, by the way, that's not related anyhow to this. So yeah, so my agenda is simple. Like if you're watching for the first time, then welcome to High Entropy. Though time is 1:30 a.m., 1:34 a.m. No one is gonna watch at this time. If you are watching, you are also like me. So I'm turning my routine now. I'm planning like I'll stream till 3 a.m. at least. And my goal is simple. Like today I became late little. I was targeting like 12 o'clock, 12 to 3, then 3 hours I'll complete. But no worries. Like it's better this no progress. Like slow progress is better than no progress. But slow is not going to help. Like in this rapidly changing environment or in this rapidly changing world, you don't know what's going to happen next day. So you need to work hard. That's all. I think yeah. Let's jump to the AI and let's go to the video and watch it. And I'll finish it. Not all today I'll finish it, but yeah, because it's not about the finishing, it's also. So let's.
And here, another folder for logs. See? Perfect. Amazing, man. Amazing. And it has created one file as well. Where is that file? Fetch API data. This is the file. Now, let me just tell you amazing stuff. Because now you will say, Ansh Lamba, skills are amazing. Are you satisfied with skills right now? Because I am going to share amazing stuff with the skills. Skills are not over. It's just started, okay? What? Yes. So now what are we going to do? We are going to enhance our skills. First of all, our fetch API skill is amazing, okay? So you have two options to call using NLP or directly call the skill using slash command. Slash command is more convenient, okay? I personally love it. But if you want to just use NLP, you can use it. Simple? Very good. Now we have the script, by the way. Now, do you know what? Let me just tell you amazing thing. First of all, this is like doing everything, fetch and save CSV. So it just fetches the data and saves the CSV, and then it just logs the information as well. Everything it performs very good. So I don't want to touch it. So it will be performing as it is. Now I have the skill, okay, fetch API. If you remember my architecture, and you know what it has done. Initially, remember our Python was like throwing some errors. So it literally opened Microsoft Store in my screen. Let me just show you, see. So this is the window. It has already opened for me. I was like, who opened it, bro? Then I was like, oh, okay, Claude code is running. So it opened this thing, Python install manager, because it was not able to find Python. So it literally opened my Microsoft Store to download the Python for me so that it can run that code. Can you imagine?
I
That
can
it can
imagine, yeah.
access
That's-
anything that you have on your machine, but obviously with security, with safety, because you allow it to do that. Otherwise, it won't do that. Okay? Perfect. Okay. So now,
What is the use of developer if
this
they
skill is
will
done,
do
man.
like
Oh man, this was amazing.
LLMs will
By the
do
way,
everything?
I loved it because writing the code on the fly using HTTPX is not a very easy thing. Plus, logging the information every time because logs are very very important. Logs are very important, and can you imagine how long it took? 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, just 1 minute. And you can replace this particular scenario with, let's say, you are not downloading, basically fetching the data from, let's say, Oracle REST APIs. You are fetching the data using Azure Event Hub. You are fetching the data from anywhere. Just provide the information step by step, and that's it. You do not even need to just worry about the code. But if you are someone who really wants to see the code, ask it to generate the file. Confirm the code, test your skill, because skill is actually self-explanatory concept here. You need to train it. You cannot expect, I will create a skill and it should work on the very first run. What? You are creating a skill. Okay, you are not just generating a response. Okay, when you create a skill and when you test it, let's say 10 times, 20 times, if you're satisfied, now you are okay. Now you can rely because you have trained your personal Claude code, which is purely built on your project, and that's it. Simple, very good. So this skill is done. Okay, very good. Very good. Now we are going to upskill our skill. What? Anjalamba,
What?
what do you want to do?
No.
Let me show you something. We can even extend our skills. What? Extend our skills? What do you mean extend our skills? So just think about it. So let's say this is my skill. Here I'm just putting everything. Right? Here I'm putting every information. Right? Okay, let me just answer your first question. I know you have one question. Let me just answer that first. Anjalamba, I can also add this information in my Claude.md as well here. And I can just add that particular step called my skills. And I can say, whenever I type skills, perform these actions. Obviously, this is LLM. We just need to write the context. We can write context anywhere. That is a beautiful question because I also had that question. So then I got to know one thing, which is very, very important. So now what will happen? Let me just explain this answer. By the way, if you didn't have this question, do not worry. That shows that you are not learning. You are understanding. So, but yeah, if this is a question, this is a very good question.
True.
Beautiful question. Because this shows your attitude of how and why. Obviously, everyone talks about how, but why? Why should I do this? Okay, so let me tell you why. Is my mic working? Yes, it is working. It is working. I can see that, right? You know what? I just bought this. I don't know why, but now it is just blocking my face. But I can adjust. Don't worry at all. So now what will happen is this is what was his name?
You can replace it.
Robin. No. Rohan or Rahul, yeah. So
Rahul.
So now Rohan, whenever Rohan calls Claude code, makes sense? Now let me just take this entire diagram and let me just type the heading as well. Let me just say, ooh, okay, why skills when we have Claude.md. Simple. This is your question. If this is not a question, still you should have this question. Simple. So let me explain why. So now what will happen? Every time this person Claude,
Rahul.
Rohan. So Rohan, every time Rohan makes a request to Claude code, you already know this concept that every time this Claude.md file will be injected automatically, obviously, right? Why? To provide the context for the project. Simple. Automatically. So we have the tokens here. Wow. Do you know what? If I put everything in the Claude.md, even if I'm not calling a skill, even if I'm not calling or using any skill, I'm wasting my tokens because I'm just passing the entire context to Claude code. So you mean to say that we do not pass context of skill to Claude code? No, not at all. We only pass the context to Claude code when Claude code invokes the skill. That means whenever I just use Claude code, let's say this is my session. Okay, let's say this is my session. So here, if I ask something else, if I say, bro, how are you? Whatever, okay. You know what will go to the Claude code? Obviously, Claude.md5 in the beginning of the session, in the beginning of the chat. Then only this part of the skill will go. Only this metadata. Why? Because then only it will know that I have the skills. Otherwise, how it would know? But after this thing, nothing will go to the context. After this thing, only this body, this is called body of the skill. Body of the skill will go to Claude code only when Claude code invokes our skill. Otherwise, it will stay in our skill folder. That is why we just create dedicated skills. And obviously, we have step-by-step implementation, which has like so much of thing to do with skill that you will just learn right now. So now you should have this clarity. Okay, good. But this was like a beautiful question. Beautiful. I also had this question. I was like, why am I just using skill? I can just put everything in Claude.md. Then I got to know that it's all about cost. It's all about tokens. Okay, it's all about getting the work done. Because with Claude.md, you cannot provide so much of context. It will be totally confused. Because when you have 1 to 2 skills, you can think like that. But you have 20, 30 skills. Bro, are you serious? So I hope you got the answer. Like, why do we use that? Okay, makes sense. Simple. Now let's talk about, so what we were just talking about. Okay, skills is this one. Okay, so now we're just talking about extending the skills. Okay, now what is this extending the skills? This is very important. And this actually makes skills so powerful. By the way, this is like recently added feature, skills, like extending the skills. Now what we're going to do, we know that we create skills using our step-by-step guide, using our markdown file, using our skill.md file basically. Now I want to show you something else. Okay, so let me just bring the documentation, bro. The documentation. So here, by the way, this documentation is amazing. To be honest, very good documentation. Okay, perfect. Share skills, no, not share skills. Maybe I just need to take my own example because I was hoping I can just take an example from here. Restrict tool calls, blah, blah. Oh yes, here's the thing. And you need to understand this thing, please, carefully. Okay, now we can extend our skills. How and what does it mean? Basically, you provide everything in skill.md. Yes. But sometimes you need to provide some references. Yes. It can be some kind of references. Let's say there are some references that I want to perform, or let's say there are some references that I want to use whenever it is needed in your skill. For example, you are fetching some data, okay, and you are doing some more operations as well. And within that, you want to provide some references. For example, you can create a kind of markdown file where you have shown some of the errors that your organization has already faced and resolved. Makes sense. Or you can say that you have some secrets and keys that you put in the references file. Makes sense. Kind of thing. Okay, I'm just trying to provide you the real-time scenario. Here you can also provide, you can say, a kind of documentation for performing a specific task. For example, you are asking Claude Code to do a specific thing. It's a very good thing. Claude Code is trained to generate the code, but sometimes what will happen is, let's say you are asking Claude Code to write a PySpark code and performing those things. Okay. But sometimes, let's say there's an upgrade in PySpark, in Spark. For example, Spark declarative pipeline, which is a very big upgrade. Simple. Now you are expecting Claude Code to generate the code. Maybe Claude Code is not trained on that particular code. Maybe it is a latest upgrade. So what it will do, it can use that information whenever it will be needed. You say there's an up to a good thing for performing a specific task. For example, you are asking Claude Code to do a specific thing. It's a very good thing. Claude Code is trained to generate the code, but sometimes what will happen is, let's say you are asking Claude Code to write a a PySpark code and performing those things. Okay. But sometimes, let's say there's an upgrade in PySpark, in Spark. For example, Spark declarative pipeline, which is a very big upgrade. Simple. Now you are expecting Claude code to generate the code. Maybe Claude code is not trained on that particular code. Maybe it is a latest upgrade. So what it will do, it can use that information whenever it will be needed. Whenever Claude code will feel like I want to use this as a reference. So you can add this information whenever you need any information regarding generating code. There is a dedicated folder for you called references. Make sense? So you can even provide some more context, but whenever it is needed. You are just trying to help Claude code as much as you can. If you are coming from agentic background, what is agentic background? Let's say you are coming from a background who is like aware of AI stuff. Okay, what is agentic background? So now the thing is, you are simply creating a personal repository on, you can say, personal directory for Claude code, just to help Claude code. Here you can also provide some information of your organization. Maybe you are creating a skill where you want to perform some operations which are only available on your organization. It is not openly available, publicly available. You can provide that information in the references. Wow. Okay. First thing. Second thing that you can do is scripts. Now, being a data engineer, I know. You had this question. Okay. First thing. Second thing that you can do is scripts. Now, being a data engineer, I know. You had this question. Okay. Some of you would have this question because I also have this question. So I will just cover all of the questions. Now the thing is, I want to perform something. Okay. I have a skill. But for that skill, I am a senior data engineer. Okay. In my organization. Bro, I'm just taking an example. Not feel like. So what should we do? I am just normal Ansh Lamba. Okay. I know one. So let's say you are a senior data engineer in your organization. Now in your organization, you already have built some scripts. You already have built some files, some code files, right? Those code files are running exactly fine. But now you need to integrate those files, those scripts into your skill. So instead of asking Claude code to regenerate the code every time, because you have written the code for it and you know that it is running fine. So now you can create a dedicated folder called scripts. And instead of asking Claude code to generate the code and run it, you can simply say, bro, go to this folder and run the script and that's it. Wow. What is the advantage of it? Double advantage. Advantage number one is you do not need to rewrite the code, or you can say get the code written from Claude code. Second advantage is it will not use the tokens. Wow. Because it is not generating the code. So those tokens are saved. It is not running the code in the terminal. Tokens are saved. It just need to, or let's say it just needs to run one line of code in the terminal. Let's say Python, your code file name .py. You are hardly spending 15-20 tokens. And let's suppose that script is such a huge script. Let's say 2,000, 3,000 lines of code you have written. Maybe it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So you are literally saving at least let's say 3,000 lines of code, and each line you will write almost from, let's say, 10 tokens, 30,000 to 40,000 to 50,000, let's say, lines like tokens. Wow. 60,000 tokens versus 10, 15 tokens. This is called smartness. This is called optimizing your skills to the next level. Plus performance. We know that our skills are running fine. So this is called extending skills. And this is where skills become even more powerful. Like amazing stuff. Wow. Let's try to see it in real. So now what we did, we learned. Let's summarize it, okay? Because I want you to remember the things. Because now we're just implementing it, and now we will not be just revising the concept in the VS Code. VS Code is for implementation, okay? So here we have Rohan. Perfect. And here we have a folder. And this folder name is skills. Simple. In the skills folder, we have skill.md file. So let's say skill.md file. Perfect. Or let's write it like this. Not a big deal. First skill name. So we have, let's say, fetch API. Let's use that same skill. Obviously, we're just creating a new one, but just for this demo. So let's say skills. And here we have fetch API. This is also a folder. Okay, so this is first folder. Remember, within that, we have what? Skill.md. Very good. Very good. Within that, we have what? Remember? References. Perfect. References. Very good spelling. Okay, references. And along with that, you have scripts. Okay, you have scripts. And here you can also put some references just for the example. So here in the references, you can say, this is my references, documentation. If you want to save, okay, and say document, references. And here you can have Python file. Because Python is like generic script that we use. Simple. For data engineering especially. So this is the hierarchy. I hope it makes sense. Okay. I hope. Skill.md. And here we have references. And here we have scripts. Simple. And here it is connected to this one. Perfect. And here it is connected to this one. Perfect. This is your hierarchy for skills. Make sense? So this is your skills. Now, what exactly we need to do in the skills? So here what I will do, I will create another skill called migrate. Called what? Migrate. So now in the migrate skill, what I need to do, I need to migrate this data to a different location. Okay. And here obviously you can imagine that you can migrate your data to Amazon S3 bucket. So here what I will do, I will create. Make sense? So this is your skills. Now, what exactly we need to do in the skills? So here what I will do, I will create another skill called migrate. Called what? Migrate. So now in the migrate skill, what I need to do, I need to migrate this data to a different location. Okay, and here obviously you can imagine that you can migrate your data to Amazon S3 bucket. Here obviously I'm not bringing S3 bucket here. It will not take time, okay, to bring it, but it will divert the focus, because first we'll be creating AWS account, then we're just creating S3 bucket, and we're just creating IAM role, then we're just creating keys. So it will just divert the focus. I just want to keep it entirely for Claude Code, but being a data engineer, I'm just telling you that you can do it as a homework. You can create a migrate skill that I'll be just creating right now for the local migration. You can migrate a skill for the AWS S3 migration. Makes sense? Because being a teacher as well, I just need to provide you that homework. Okay. Because see, I want you to learn, you to master. That's it. That is the entire agenda of this video and this channel. Simple. Okay. Make sense? Okay. So we are extending the skills right now. Okay. So now the requirement is very, very simple. We need to migrate our data. So let me just open VS Code editor. Here we have Fetch API, right? And here what I will do, I will create another folder in the skills. And this will be called as, let's say, migrate. This migrate skill is very important. Here what we need to do, we need to, first of all, let me just close this and close this terminal. Perfect. Here what we need to do, in the migrate folder, we will be migrating the latest data every time from this Fetch API /data. Okay, so this is the latest folder. So I'll be just fetching all of the information, basically all of the data files from this particular folder. Simple. And not just fetching the data. Being a data engineer, we work with big data file formats. We prefer columnar file formats. So I want this data to be converted, to be migrated in the form of Parquet file. Simple. We can create this skill, right? But here, I do not want to just run the code on the fly. Because here within the migrate folder, I will create, yes, skill.md, which is non-negotiable. But along with that, I will create scripts. And along with that, I can create references. I don't have any kind of references, by the way, but I can still create the folder. Just for the future use case, I might add it whenever I need to, but I can just keep it, right? For now. Good. Okay, this skill.md, perfect. So here in the scripts, now first of all, let's try to create the script, because the script is very important. We need to test it. So here I don't have any Python 5, but let's imagine. See, we need to relate it to the real world, right? So now what is the requirement? We need to migrate this code to the new folder, right? And here I will be creating, let's say, a folder called data. Simple. And here we'll be having the migrated data, the latest folder. So this script, what the script will do, this script will fetch the latest information from this location, from this one, okay, this folder data. It will fetch this folder, the latest one, and then it will automatically read all of the files using a for loop, very simple. And then it can, let's say, perform the data migration using any kind of data frame library. Here, obviously, we are not using PySpark, but you can use PySpark. But in order to use PySpark, again, it will just divert the focus, and I want you to be focused on Claude Code, but you can use pandas for that. Okay, so here we'll be just using pandas just to create it, because pandas do not need any kind of special installation. Simple, common sense. But when you can do it with pandas, you can also do it with PySpark. I don't know, like, what is the big deal to do both? It's just about. So now I will be just using pandas to convert or migrate this data to the Parquet format, right, in this particular folder. So let's try to create a script. Simple. And how I will just create a script. I can use Claude, obviously, or I can just write the script by myself. Let me just complete that. So I have created this particular file, okay, with the help of, obviously, Claude. Convert to Parquet. Okay, so this is a code that I have got. And just make sure that you need to download two dependencies, pandas and pyarrow, because these are required in order to work with data frames and converting into Parquet. Simple. So these are some of the functions that you can just run. And I have not tested the script. I can just test it in front of you. I just got the code, and if something is wrong, we can just fix it together. Okay, so I can simply test it. Python convert to Parquet.py. Simple. Let's see what is the response. And if it runs fine, then we can just add it as a step in our skill. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, so it can take some time, obviously, because it is performing some things. Okay, converting files. Okay. Oh, wow, it worked. Wow. I can just check in the data. Oh, man, perfect. This is actually amazing. These are all the Parquet files. Wow. Amazing, man. Amazing. Okay. Perfect. These are the column file formats. And with the same folder, because the requirement was, I wanted to, first of all, fetch the latest file, latest folder. Okay, this is the latest folder. It didn't read this one. Okay, so this is like next level code. Okay. Oh, so it just took this folder, and then it only read this folder. And I wanted to keep the folder name same. Why? Because if you have worked with data migration things, if you keep the destination folder name same as your source folder name, you can debug it better if you see any problems. If you just keep it different, you cannot actually find the things in case of debugging. By the way, we are not talking about how to improve the governance pipelines and all, so it's fine. Okay, so now this is good. We have the script ready, which is like actually very good. So now what I will do, I will move the script and I will just keep this folder empty, so I don't need to worry about this thing. So I can simply say delete this folder, okay, because we will just test it with the skill. Okay, perfect. So now what I will do, I will move this file, create, convert to Parquet, Control X, and in the migrate, in the scripts, I will put this. Simple. Now let's try to create the script, skill. So in the skill, first of all, we will create name. So name will be, let's say, let's keep it migrate. Okay. Simple migrate description. This will help to. Or let me just get the detailed skill from here, because this was really, really good. Where is data handler? Yeah, it's almost the same. Migrates the fetched data stored. Or let's say migrates the fetched data stored in the directory to a new location. Use when you want to move or backup your data, or move it after. Not backup. I would say move. Also use when you want to move your data
to a different
directory, or you want to a different directory. Simple. Simple. So this is my metadata. Now let's say usage. And if you do not know how this automation is working for me, so this is like another agentic thing I'm using. It is called GitHub Copilot. If you just click on the thing to the chat, this is exactly that thing. Or if you just click on this icon, this one, this is the thing. So I'm just using GitHub's agentic code, you can say assistance. So it helps in code completion. And I think it is free for some daily limits. But if you just want to use it further, then yes, you need to pay monthly subscription. Yeah. So yeah, if you are just wondering. So first of all, you just pick the Python environment. So before you start, make sure you pick the Python environment. And this is the environment. Okay, perfect. Step 2, migrate data. Yes. So here comes the step. Here we do not need to ask it to create the code, run the things, whatever. Migrate data. All I will say, run the Python script to migrate the data. Perfect. You need to run the Python script stored at migrate, and after migrate we have references, not reference scripts. Okay, scripts migrate.py. This is like first step. So I can simply say migrate.py. Perfect. What else we need to do? We can just ask it to do some things. We can just ask one thing, that after migrating the data, do we need to store logs? No. Let's keep it like very simple. Okay, because it's just like data migration. So we don't need to add useless context just to increase the token size.
Yeah.
We just want to perform this thing. Okay, simple. Good. So this is
On
very
the
straightforward.
latest file
So now
that
if you just
you
go to
made.
Claude, you already know how to just fetch it. Simply use slash and then migrate. Okay. The moment I click here, it should create this data folder. Okay, it should populate this. So it is simply saying, should I run this? Yes, run it with my virtual environment. And let me check this documentation first. Yes, read it. So see, it is now reading my skill.md. So it is now reading the convert.py. Now it is running the file. Perfect. Exit code 1, CS to target converter, and I can see one file converted. Okay.
So you kept in the skill. So you don't
Calculating,
need to
let's wait.
mention.
I need to fix. Okay, there's one issue. What issue? Another CSV to conversion used script with UTF encoding. Oh, so it found something. Okay. With UTF encoding, which is a very common issue with the CSV files, but I think it will just fix it on its own. Perfect. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So now I have all the packet files. Amazing. So it has also provided us a keyword summary. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh wait, I can actually ask it to just provide me this thing. I think this is like actually good. Rows, column, size, and whatever. Wow, because this is all of these things I'm just printing in the, I think so in the print statement. Let me just check. Because if I have this thing, conversion completed successfully, print this. Okay, it's fine. We are simply storing the logs, but you can do whatever you want. See, sky is the limit. Okay. So makes sense. So I have got all of the files in the form of pi. Very good. And now we literally saved a lot of tokens because all of the code which is written here in the script, it didn't generate this code. It didn't generate this code. It didn't even pass this code in the terminal to run it. It simply ran one simple command, which you can see it here as well. If you see it here, as you can see, input is this one. See, this is the input. Simple. It just ran this bash command and that's it. Wow. Wow. See this one. Wow. But yes, it ran the skill.m. Obviously, that is non-negotiable. That's how it just runs the thing. So this is it. This is it. This is it. And you know what? When NVIDIA's CEO says that very soon, or I think he said in the next 5 years, and already 2 years are already passed, so 3 years more. So he was saying that in the next 5 years, we will replace the programming with the natural language. And I can see that happening easily. See, just tell me one thing. What I have put it here. Did I write any code? Did I write any code here or here? Did I write any code? Did I write any code? That doesn't mean that programming is not important. Programming is important and you need to understand the programming because you will be the one validating it, fixing it, evaluating it, expanding it, all of the stuff. But the time it used to take to write the code will be gone. Will be totally gone. You are just a validator.
No, it's
You are
not
just the one who is taking care. Okay, this is running fine. Okay, this can be handled like this way. Because 3 years are left, right? Like still 3 years are left. It's just like almost 2 years, and you can see the big shift. Because when he made the statement, everyone literally laughed. Everyone was saying, "Bro, this is not possible. We know that we have ChatGPT, but this is not possible." now, so there's a big shift in that. And I don't know, like why people are going crazy. All of the people are going crazy who were not there during the invention, or you can say during the boom of computers. Okay, but what happened after that? What happened after that? Everything changed, right? But it changed for good cause. Now AI is here. Everything will change, right? But for good cause. Learn, grow, and that's it. That's it.
Learn, go,
That's it.
grow, and monetize.
So now let's complete our skill number 3 as well. Okay, and this skill number 3 will be like critical one because here we just need to perform much more things. What? So after making the API calls, let's say I'm just repeating my skill to fetch the data in the morning. I am repeating my skill to migrate the data in the afternoon. And then after migrating the data as well, I now want to run the visualize skill. Okay, so now in the visualize, I want to create some KPIs, which is a very simple thing. Okay, it's a very simple thing like major KPIs, number of orders, number of sales, and whatever. So now in this skill, I can tell that what KPIs do I need? What are the orders? What are the things I need? Like let's say I want total number of orders by date. I want total number of returns by date. I want total number of orders by customer. All of these KPIs. I can just ask it to create a dashboard and display these KPIs. How will it do under the hood? Very simple, very simple, very simple. And now I want you to create this skill on your own, make mistakes, iterate it, then make mistakes, then iterate it, and then you will see that it will work. And at the end, just to confirm that what you have built and what I'm going to build, just come and confirm. And that's it. This is learning, right? So just create the third skill on your own, and I know you can build it. And I know this is the most critical one among these three, but now you are in the shape that you can build it. Make sense? Okay. So now let's do it. You build your own skill. Okay. Okay. Very good. So now what are we just trying to do? We know that we have the data. If I just open the data, we have dim customers, dim date, dim product, dim store, dim return, dim sales, right? So what I will do, I will create my another skill, and this will be called as, let's say, visualize. Simple. And inside the visualize, I will create skill.md. Do I need scripts? I don't want to write any formulas for aggregations and those DAX at all. Not at all. I do not want to provide any references. So I will simply create skill.md because I wanted to give you some reference how you can just extend the skills. So now you have the idea. Simple. And one more thing, you don't need to keep the folder names as it is. You can just put or keep any folder name. This is just for like a standard references, scripts, and all of these things. Simple. But you can just put any folder name because it doesn't care what is your folder name. You just need to put the folder name in the skill.md. That's it. Here you will say scripts, it will go to scripts. Here you will say code file, it will go to code files. Simple. Okay, good. So skill.md, let's try to create the skill.md. So I'll simply say name, and here name is visualize. Yes. Description. Visualize data using libraries and tools. And you know what? We can actually create a dashboard using HTML, okay? Just to make it like really, really beautiful. And I can also maybe use matplotlib just to visualize data, like how does it look like, whatever we can do. Let's use HTML and let's see like what does it create. I know like it will simply create one HTML with CSS and styling. And I can actually ask it to create one script first of all, and I can run that script at the end because every time it will just running so much of HTML code, and whenever we just run HTML with CSS, we need to just write so much of code. So instead of just spending those tokens, I can create a file, create a script, and then I can just provide it as a script. Okay, so let's try to create one folder for scripts as well. That will be a better choice. So what will be the flow? Here in skill.md, we will simply say, first of all, get the variables. Okay, get the variables, like all the KPIs. Then feed those KPIs in the HTML, in the dashboard. Simple. Or let's say just create a dashboard for us. Let's see what it will create. Okay, then you can just iterate. You can simply say create our KPIs, and then you can just build our dashboard based on that. Okay. So visualize data using various libraries and tools. Yeah, it's fine. You can just provide some description long enough as well, but it's fine. So let's say usage, and here I will simply say make sure to click the environment, and the Python environment is this one because it will be using pandas to aggregate data. So I will say use pandas to build KPIs. First of all, you need to use pandas library to read not CS file, to read the Parquet files stored in the data directory. But here I want to build a dashboard on top of my latest data. So I'll simply provide the command here that I want to read just the latest data because here I have migrate and then this folder. Okay, read the Parquet files stored in the latest folder at this time. Simple. Then yes. So this is the thing you need to use the pandas library to read the Parquet files. You need to use the pandas library to first of all you need to read, do not use pandas library. You need to read the Parquet files stored in the Parquet files. After reading data, you need to use pandas to build the following KPIs. Yes, total sales, total returns, net sales, average sales per store, per product. Very good, very good, very good. Average sales per customer, very good. So these are the KPIs that I want to build for a dashboard. What will be the formula? We don't need to tell because everyone knows how to find total sales, sum of total sales, returns, total returns, net sales, gross minus, whatever. Then average sales per store, whatever. So we do not need to worry about those KPIs. Claude will handle all of the code for that. So these are the KPIs. Okay, this is the step 2. So once we have the step 2 ready, once we have all this information ready, then I can go to step 3. Yes, use matplotlib to build visualization. After building the KPIs, you need to use matplotlib 3.1 to build. But how I would just visualize it. So here we can use matplotlib by the way. So let's use it because it will be like pure Pythonic instead of using HTML, CSS. Because some of you will say, hey, look at this written HTML, B tag, BR tag, CSS, class, whatever. Okay, so let's see. So after building the KPIs, you need to use matplotlib to build the following visualization, sales trend over time, sales per store, returns by customer, and all these things. Okay, and then you need to save the visualization as PNG files. This is very good. You need to save the visualization as PNG files. Oh, wait, PNG files are expensive. No, bro, no. Yeah, PNG files are expensive in Claude Code. You need to display the visualization in Jupyter Notebook. PNG file, no, bro. You can just save it in PNG files for the first time, like just for fun, but why should I do it? You need to display the visualizations in a Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, we can just say Jupyter Notebook. If I run the Jupyter Notebook, I want to see it. Whenever I say visualize, I want to see it on my screen. I want to do something. I didn't know it with HTML, CSS, but I want to do it with matplotlib. Okay, let me just find one way. So I did a little research on Google and I got to know there's a specific function in PLT, basically matplotlib or plotly. We can save the images directly using code, but we cannot rely on like Claude code to generate the image or save it. So I can say you need to display, or let's say you need to save the visualization as PNG files in the directory. Visualizations, okay. And I'll say visualizations.
Images.
But in the visualizations, I should also create a folder by folder because I'm just creating the file name. So post folder and then the latest folder. Yeah. So in the directory, let's in the folder with the same name as source folder. Okay. With the same name. Okay, you need to say the folder. Okay. Date time. Okay. And I can say using plt.savefig. Yes, because it can just run that function and then Python will just save it instead of Claude code will just create the visualization on its own. So this is better. And after that, you can run the visualization code file. Yeah, scripts. You can run the because it is not creating the file actually, so it cannot run it actually. So yeah, let's get it because we have the functions for converting it, so it's fine. So okay, let's test it because this is skill. Let's see the errors, not a big deal. So I'll simply say visualize. Okay, let's get it and let's see what we get. Imagine it. Wow. So let's wait and let's see what we get. So now it is just creating the script. And yes, now you know that you can even create a script. So it has created the script that's even better. We can just reuse the script. Okay. That's the benefit of just creating the script. That's it. So it has also created the script visualize data. Very good. And it has just saved here in the scripts. That is amazing. And I need to install, oh yeah, it needs to install some libraries like matplotlib, plotly, and all these things. Okay. Allow this bash command. Pandas, okay. Yeah, matplotlib, okay. Perfect. UV not found. Wow. UV not found. Okay, so it added those Python libraries. Perfect. UV sync, yes, you need to just perform UV sync. And let's wait. And perfect. Loading data. And okay, it made some changes in the file. Makes sense. And it made changes in the script directly. Wow, that is amazing. So now data loading successfully. Wow. Oh yeah, I can also see the visualization folder. Perfect. But it is saying something, so I can simply say yes, maybe something is left. So in the visualizations, oh, it is empty, okay. It is just like maybe trying to create some visualization and storing it in the form of PNGs. Very good. And if the visualize data.py is fine, I can also run this file at the end just to pop up the visualizations. That we can also do. Let me just click on the file and see in the meantime. Plt.close. Okay, so it is not doing anything. So it is again making some changes. It's fine. So plt.close, okay. Makes sense. It is not simply keeping the connection on, so it will simply create the visualization. Oh, it has created the visualization. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, man. Amazing. Amazing. Now, you know what? I can make some changes in my skill, and I want to make some changes in front of you so that you will also learn how to iterate the skills, how to perform those things. Because once we have the script, we do not need to keep on spending the tokens to perform the things again and again. Make this edit, so it is like keeping the, what is it? Okay. So now it keeps on editing the file based on the KPIs. Because KPIs are something that you need to first of all build the logic, you need to write the formulas, and then you need to perform the things. Make sense? So that's why you are seeing so many edits, because I didn't provide any logic. I didn't provide any kind of, you can say, formula. But now it has everything. And now it is done. Now it is a kind of re-iterated skill. Claude Code iterated the skill multiple times based on our demand. If you talk to any BI person, if you will simply say, build this KPI, build this KPI, build this KPI, the person will say, bro, just give me the exact formula as well. Even the person builds the KPIs 24/7. 24/7 means 24/7 of 9 to 5. But still, they need formulas. Why? Because they cannot build formulas on their own. But here, it is building the formulas. Why? Because you do not need to provide the context. It is using its own knowledge to build the formulas. Formulas are not something which cannot build, which cannot be predicted. If I say, you need to return the data of returns by store. What is the big deal? You can just provide aggregation. But we didn't provide any kind of formula, right? So let's check the pictures. So this is, wow, man, amazing. Amazing. Amazing, man, amazing. All of these data analysis stuff is being done by Claude Code automatically. Just think that I can even, let me just iterate the script, okay? So I can simply say, instead of performing step 2 and step 3, I can also say, simply run my visualize data.py, because this is very detailed Python script which has done everything. Okay, so we can even do that as well if you want to. If you do not want to keep on changing our code. Simple. And I can put this visualize data script here in the script folder. Here's that. Okay, here. Oh man, visualize. Let me just use control minus. Perfect. So here I can put the script here. Perfect. I can move it. Now I will reiterate my skill because I want to save my tokens. Okay. And I want to okay, I want to simply run the file. Simple. Because I have everything written here, so I will also save some tokens from the skill and I will do direct execution of the skill. So simply say run the Python script visualize data and generate visualizations. So you need to run Python script so that skills, visualize scripts, then visualize.py. Perfect. This script will generate this. Perfect. So I saved so much of tokens. Now even if I delete this particular folder, let's say delete. Okay. Now it should perform everything. Let me just call this skill for one more time. Visualize. And this time it should be very smooth because we have iterated our Python code multiple times. And in your project, I can see how certain Python project, any specific details, what? Which API do you want to visualize? What data do you want to visualize? Okay, do you have data in the CSV, JSON? Okay, what I did. Let me check what I did. So in the Python file, what do we have? Visualize data.py. Okay. In the visualize, I said go to Claude skills and then visualize. Oh, scripts. I didn't provide the right name. Okay. Makes sense. Scripts and then this thing. Let me just open a new session. And let me just say visualize. I will help you visualize data. What data do you want to visualize? CSV, existing data frame. Why is asking this question? Once you find this data, where the data is needed.
One
Okay.
minute. Let me see. I will help you visualize. Before I proceed, I need some information. What data do you want to visualize? A CSV file, existing data frame, data from. Oh man, you haven't provided it like from where data needs to be visualized. So you have to say like you have to go to this location, pick the data from particular location, that is migrate and data, and then yeah.
Visualizes. Oh, because in the description I have not provided enough detailed description. Visualizes data stored in this thing. Generate visualization on the data. Use this skill when you want to create visualization on the data. Perfect. Makes sense. So its question was valid. Let's see. Let's try this time. Visualize. Let's see. So now this time it is saying run the file. So good boy. Yes. Oh, I see what was happening. So I think it was just reading visualize as an internal command. So I think so because it didn't even read the skill before. It can happen. Because visualize is a very common thing. Oh, perfect. Perfect. We saved a lot of tokens and our script is working fine. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So see, now this is the power of creating script. Because see, we are technical people, right? We are developers. So we can integrate the coding into our automation, into our Claude code. But Claude code is very popular when you want to perform non-coding tasks as well. Let's say you want to also perform login. You can write the code, but it will require some steps. You can totally rely on Claude code for that. If let's say non-technical person, let's say manager wants to perform any kind of thing, person can do that because Claude code can handle all the orchestration based on the prompt. Then if you also want to perform some non-technical tasks after that, let's say you want to create a draft email, you can just do that. If you want to perform so many other steps, you can do that. Simple. And in the visualize data, you have amazing visualizations ready. Wow. Wow, man. Literally wow. Now just think that what if I connect Power BI with my Claude code and if I say just build a dashboard for me? Obviously, it is so easy.
1 minute. What did you say?
With my Claude code. Now just think that what if I connect Power BI with my Claude code and if I say just build a dashboard for me?
Yeah, it will build.
Obviously, it is so easy. For that, yes, we need to talk about how to connect those external tools, okay, using MCP. And we don't even need to connect to this thing, okay, because Power BI is smart enough to integrate their own agentic graph within the Power BI itself. So that's why you see you write a prompt and you get the dashboard ready. Boom. So this is the thing. This is the thing, and this is all about the skills that we have learned in Claude Code. And I hope that you have gained very strong knowledge about skills and how to create skills with respect to technical knowledge as well. Okay. So if you just go here, read the documentation, you will find that okay, we are in good shape. Yes, you should read this documentation because you will find some new things, some useful things. But I would say most of the things are already covered. So if you just want to save time, move ahead. You can just go ahead because rest of the stuff you can just apply. Or you can learn by applying it in the real world. Makes sense because this documentation will keep on changing, keep on growing. So it's not something that you have to learn everything in one go. Go with the flow. Simple. So this is all about skills. Was it helpful? I know it was very, very helpful. Just let me know in the comment section because I tried my best to explain this critical concept called skills in detail. By the way, there's another concept called skills 2.0. Okay, and now we'll just talk about that as well. What is skills 2.0? Now, not exactly skills 2.0, a kind of skills 2.0, or you can say a helper function for skills. Helper function for skills, like how we can just create better skills. Makes sense? So let's talk about that as well. So now we're just going to talk about the skills 2.0, kind of 2.0 part. When you will see it, you will actually say this is actually very important. And you know what? It is a recent upgrade. Just I would say last week, not even last week. I would say this week. Today's what? Today's what? Today's what? Today's I don't know today's what, but I know it came, I think, this week on Monday, or I would say Sunday. So less than 7 days, let's say. Talking about this week, last week, less than 7 days. So I want to provide that knowledge as well because obviously, bro, obviously. So now, in order to work with that thing, first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about I want it came, I think, today's what? Today's what? And so now we're just going to talk about the skills 2.0, kind of 2.0 part. When you will see it, you will actually say this is actually very important. And you know what? It is a recent upgrade. Just I would say last week, not even last week. I would say this week. Today's what? Today's what? Today's what? Today's I don't know today's what, but I know it came, I think, this week on Monday, or I would say Sunday. So less than 7 days, let's say. Talking about this week, last week, less than 7 days. So I want to provide that knowledge as well because obviously, bro, obviously. So now, in order to work with that thing, first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about plugin. Okay, we will just talk about plugin in detail later in the video. So plugin is basically the package that we install. Some plugins, basically packages, are built by Anthropic to support our work. Okay, so they have created an amazing package. It's called Skill Create. Wow, yes. So they have created one skill. Basically, what is the package? Skill. So they have created one skill called Skill Create. That means there's a dedicated skill which helps you build skills. Why it is useful? How do we just work with it? Obviously, we'll just look at it. But before, we have some requests. And just to give you a hint, why do we have that particular thing? Let's say you are creating a skill and you do not know how to define a skill in detail. You try ChatGPT, Claude Desktop, and so many other things. Claude Code knows what it needs to use. So this skill has a lot of questions based on your skill demand. It asks you those questions in the real time and create the skill.md file for you in detail. And not just skill.md file, all the resources as well. Wow. And not just this, even if you have skills ready, the skills that you have created, if you want to evaluate those skills with the time, let's say you have built one skill today, okay, after 2 to 3 months, our LLMs are more powerful. So where you are using some manual work, now LLMs can handle that work. You can evaluate your skills and you can make changes in your skills. Wow. So this is amazing. But if you want to use this thing, we have to install some plugins. So if I just go to Claude, where's my Claude? Where's my Claude? Oh, here. Claude Code, past conversations. Why it is like this? Let me just restart it. Or let's refresh it. Reload window. Okay. So this is also reloading. Okay, makes sense. Okay. So here we have our Claude Code. Simple. So here what we need to type, we need to simply type plugin. Okay. So you will see the option called manage plugins. If I click here, forget about these things. These are like already installed plugins at my root location, but in this project I don't have plugin. Do not worry about it. So in order to enable plugin, you need to go to the marketplace. You add the marketplace and then you can only see the plugins. In your case, marketplace will also be empty, but not really. Let me show you how you can just access those things. So here, first of all, you need to simply bring the documentation. So there are 2 major plugins offered by Anthropic, and you need to install both. Okay. So if you just go to Claude documentation, Claude Code documentation, okay, and here if you just go to pre-built plugins, right? So in the pre-built plugins, you will scroll down and you will find this link called plugin installed build name Claude plugins official. And this is the same plugin that I have installed here, Claude plugins official. What will happen after adding this marketplace? All of the plugins that are built inside this marketplace will be available to me. All of the packages, all of the skills that are already created by Anthropic will be available to me. Okay, so you can also get this. You can also get this. You can say your link, and I can just provide you this link as well. No. So all of the packages, all of this happen after adding this installed build name Claude plugins official, and this is the same plugin that I have installed here, Claude plugins official. What will happen after adding this marketplace? All of the plugins that are built inside this marketplace will be available to me. All of the packages, all of the skills that are already created by Anthropic will be available to me. Okay, so you can also get this. You can also get this. You can say your link, and I can just provide you this link as well. Not a big deal. I can simply write this thing in the readme.md. Okay, so this is the post link. Okay, and this is the post link that you need to just get, and command is this one. So you can also copy this direct command. I will just provide this thing in the readme. You can just check it. Okay, readme, or I will create a dedicated file. Let me just create one file. Let's say urls.md. Simple, because in the readme I will just put the readme stuff, not the URLs, because. So let's say URLs. So all the documentation URLs, whatever we are referring to, I will just put it here. Simple. So this is the command. So now in order to run this command, let's say this one, you cannot run it in this chat. No, you cannot. For that, you need to initiate a terminal. Okay, how? Let me show you. So there's like one more command. Let me show you. So this is like one marketplace. There's one more marketplace, and this marketplace is actually a kind of GitHub repository that is created by Anthropic. Okay, so if you just go to skills, you will find this particular repository. If you click on skills, you will see that they have created so many skills. Wow. And this is a skill that we are just trying to cover, which is called skill create, which is here, skill creator. Okay, and you can see that the last commit is like last week. So they have literally pushed this particular script last week. Okay, in less than 7 days. skill creator. Okay, so this is a skill. It will be available to us when we will enable this plugin. So now, in order to enable this GitHub plugin, you can go to this README file, and here they have provided this command, which is called this one. This one. You can just run this command, and I will just put it here as well. So let's say command and this one. So okay, so now I don't have this particular plugin because I deleted it, so that I can just show you the demo. So this is the command that will enable the skills, and skills means that skill creator skill as well. Simple. So I will just copy this command here, and I will not run it here in the Claude code from here. What I will do, I will open the Claude terminal. So open the terminal, write Claude. It will ask you for the API key for the first time. If it is not asking, that means it is already verified. But in your case, if you are running it for the first time in the Claude code, it will ask you. Okay, very good. Then I can just paste this command here. Okay, and hit enter. Now it will automatically fetch all of the skills and it will put it here. And now if I just go to Claude code, which is this normal conversation, if I search plugins, manage plugins, and if I just go to marketplace, I will see that marketplace here. Wow. And here in the plugins, now you need to search the skill creator. Let's say skill creator. So this is the skill creator at creator plugins official, because this is the part of creator plugins official. This one, this GitHub repo. Okay, this is the command that I just already showed to you. So this is the command which is available. So I can simply enable this, enable plugin. Wow. So it is saying now you have enabled this plugin. Okay. Now I simply restart. I can restart it. So now if I just say /skill, okay, this is a kind of skill, but we have installed it as a kind of plugin, right? So it will not be like available as a like skill creator whatever like this, but you can still use it. Don't worry, because this is available as a plugin. Simple. I know this is like a little bit confusing, but it is very easy. You just need to install, like you just need to treat plugin as a kind of package that is provided by Anthropic or Claude code. Okay, and we have a dedicated section to discuss about your plugins and marketplace. But currently, because we just wanted to use this special feature, that's why I showed this thing to you. Okay, and you know how to install all of the things. All the things are here. You just need to run these two commands. Okay, in the terminal, not in the chat. Simple. Very, very, very good. So now let me just show you the skill creator that we are just talking about, and we have just installed plugin, and we have also enabled the skill creator skill. This is a skill that is directly created by the Anthropic. So if I just go to their repo, and if I just go to the scripts, not scripts, this should be Claude code. Let me just go to skills. So they will have like dedicated repository of skills. Yeah. So if I just go to skills folder, I should see that skill called skill creator. If I open this folder, what do we have inside this? We have these folders. Now here, the most important thing is obviously the skill.md file, because that defines how the skill should behave. Second thing is eval viewer. So this is the evaluator for our skill. So let's say I want to utilize this skill and I want it to evaluate my skills that I have defined. All the skills, or let's say a specific skill, so I can utilize this skill. This is more of, you can say, monitoring and governance skill. It is not directly related to development, but when you work with Claude code a lot, I think this is the feature which is like recently added, just 2 weeks back, like I think last week it was updated. It will actually help you a lot because you do not need to govern your skills. Now Claude code has created a dedicated skill just to govern your skills. How is it behaving? Do we need to make some changes? Can we just enhance it? Can we just enrich it? So it will automatically give you the suggestions. So you do not even need to take care of your skills. Because obviously when people were creating so many skills in Claude code, so the operations cost was obviously heavy because there would be a dedicated person who would be just going through the skills maybe on a daily basis or at least on a weekly basis, like everything's running fine, no bugs, nothing. So now it can take care of these things. Why? Because obviously eval viewer, what it will do, it will read all the logs as well of each skill that you would have created. So it would read the errors if they would see any errors, any improvements, any deprecations, because in the logs you also get the deprecation messages. So it will take care of all the packages as well, which is amazing. And if you're working with LangChain LangGraph, I would say you will see those deprecation messages very frequently because they just keep on changing their modules and utilities very frequently. Okay, so how we can just take care of this? And let's first of all try to read this skill.md file. And don't worry, I have also provided a link to this particular repo. If not, I can just add it. This is GitHub skills. Let me just add it. So let me just open it. Skill creator. Yeah, pop here. So skill.md file. We will see all of the instructions written, and this will be a very context-rich skill, obviously. Why? Because see, it will help us to create the skill from scratch. So it has to cover all of the relevant questions which are required to create your skill. Because this skill can be used by anyone. Data engineers, data analysts, data scientists, non-technical people, managers, because they can create any skill using this skill. So obviously this will be very context-rich skill, okay? And whenever you will be invoking it, then yes, you will need to spend high tokens because see, this is such a detailed version of it. But obviously, whenever you want to create such a skill, you have to provide context. Otherwise, the quality will not be that much high, right? And it will just keep on writing, okay, you can just take care of this thing, you can just take care of that thing, and you can just read it if you want. But the intent is it helps you to create your skill. Simple. If you do not know how to create it, or if you just want to create a skill from scratch and everything. Okay, so it has just simply put the description, run loop.py, run eval.py. So they have also created some scripts that they can just run to evaluate your skills. So if you just go to skill creator, you will see some scripts. So there are so many Python files they have created just for us, just to validate our skills. So if I just go to run eval.py, it will just take care and it will run all of the skills and it will see like if there is any chance of improvement or anything. See, everything is written for you. But yes, this is for your governance. So this is the kind of governance layer they have added in Claude code. Right? Okay. So now if you just go to Claude, VS Code, by the way, this is an optional thing. If you want to use it, you can because it will require some heavy tokens. But I can just show you. So what it will do, like I will just show you, and yeah. So what you can do, if you want to test it, because I don't want to test it, I don't want to spend so much tokens. But what it will do, as we know that we have the skill ready, so what you can do, you can say, so now we do not have a skill like this. Let's say skill creator. Now we have skill creator. Okay. So I just refreshed it. You can just do it like this, but I would not recommend you to just directly use skill creator. Let me tell you why. Because I know that you can just use skill creator directly, but skill creator is like very generic, very generic. So what you should do, you should say instead of using skill creator, because it will automatically invoke that skill. You do not need to mention skill creator here, and it's not fruitful to mention it here. You simply need to say, I want to create a new skill to, let's say, send the daily report to my manager regarding the data fetch cleaning, reporting, whatever. Then it will understand the context of your query and it will directly automatically call the skill create. And it will keep on asking you the question. But what is the benefit between writing this prompt or directly calling the skill create? Because now it has automatically some context. So the questions that it will ask will be more inclined towards requirements. Simple. So it will keep on asking so many questions like what you should do, okay, what you need to do, okay, what will be this thing, what will be that thing. Because obviously it needs to create a skill for you, so it will ask so many questions. You can write if you want to, but I don't want to write. I know like how I can just create my skill. Okay. But this is for those who do not even need to just write the skill on their own and they just want to build everything from scratch. Simple. So this is a recent version, or you can say it's an addition of in the skills version. So that's why some people are promoting it like skills 2.0, skills 2.0. It's not actually skills 2.0. It's like adding a governance layer on top of your skills because it's not skills 2.0 at all. Simple. Okay, so this part is also crystal clear and we have got amazing understanding of skills. So now let's talk about this amazing concept in Claude Code, sub-agents. And this can be a little bit, you can say, overlapping between scripts, or not scripts like those skills, but it is totally different. Let me just tell you how and why. So basically, sub-agents means, so first of all, you have the parent agent. What is the parent agent? Claude Code, obviously. So let's bring our Claude Code as our parent agent. So whatever we ask, we directly talk to Claude agent, basically Claude Code. This is our parent agent, right? Very good. Parent agent. Perfect. So now this parent agent, we just talk to this parent agent. Simple. And let's say Rohan. Rohan talks to this particular parent agent. Simple. Okay. And all of the tools means skills. Okay. And obviously built-in tools. But built-in tools are like provided by Claude Code automatically. So that is totally different. So whatever skills we have created, let's say these skills, are available to this Claude Code parent agent. Simple. Yes. So we just talk to this parent agent and it does the work and it is simple. Now we have a concept of sub-agent. That means we can create one sub-agent. So let's say there is a sub-agent. Let's say this is the sub-agent. Okay. This is the sub-agent. Simple. Okay. So this sub-agent can be Claude Code's junior agent, or not just like let's say junior agent, a kind of sub-agent. So now this parent agent has some team available. Okay, now this is you can say a kind of a senior person, and he's working with some independent developers. The developer can be junior, senior, whatever. But this Claude Code parent agent, senior data engineer, or let's say senior engineer, is working with some more engineers. Okay, and we are just calling them as sub-agent. Now what will happen? We have provided all of the tools. That means all the built-in tools. Okay, to this parent agent because it is by default. Perfect. We have provided all of our skills that we have created to our parent agent so that it can perform our work. Yes. Now every time, let's say here I'm using Haiku model, or let's say Sonnet, because for parent model we usually use Sonnet. Let's say Sonnet 4.6, which is the latest Sonnet version. So here I'm using Sonnet 4.6. Simple. What I will do now, I am performing everything. Parent agent is performing everything. Everything is fine. But sometimes we need to perform some parallel tasks. We need to perform some independent tasks. We need to perform some tasks which should not be done by senior person. For example, I will say, could you please create a documentation for the development that you have done? Would you ask this thing from a senior data engineer or senior engineer? Obviously no. You will say like, I'm already busy with so much of work. Why do I need to just work on the documentation? I can ask someone else. The person can just write the documentation or read the documentation. So here, this parent agent will do the same thing. Let's say I want to just create a README file, or let's say documentation, or let's say I just want to scan my repository, or just small things. I do not need to disturb this parent agent every time. I can ask this sub-agent, not I, like Claude Code will directly spawn one sub-agent to do those small tasks. Those tasks can be big as well, but for now, just for simplicity, we are using this analogy so that you can understand the context. Okay. So now this person, this sub-agent, will do the work. Okay. And you know the benefit of it. The benefit is I can use some, you can say affordable, or you can say some less expensive models. Let's say I can use Haiku here in the sub-agent. Let's say this is the sub-agent. I can use Haiku because I know the work that we need to perform is not very big. Haiku, let's say 4.6 or 4.5, I don't know. So I know that the work that we want to perform is not very big. We just need to scan the repository, we just need to create the documentation, and that's it. Why do I need to use Sonnet 4.6? Obviously, and that's how corporate work, right? That's how does corporate work. They have senior developers, they have junior developers. So if you want to get the work done from those senior developers, you need to pay them hourly, right? And if you know that work will take 2 hours, so instead of paying to the senior developer, or let's say instead of paying like the cost for 2 hours for a senior developer, you can just pay the junior developer. It will save cost. Same thing is happening here as well. Now, instead of paying this Claude Code Sonnet 4.6, we can pay Haiku 4.6. Plus, it's not just that. Plus, whenever there's a person, there's a senior data engineer, senior engineer would have access to everything. Would have access to your AD groups, would have access to your all of the repositories, would have access to your all the things, and would have all the permissions. And this Claude Code parent has all the access, all the tools, all the skills, all the things, everything. But this sub-agent can and cannot have all the things. I can define the permissions because I know this is a junior developer. I do not need to provide all of my skills because I can do the wonders if I just provide all the skills. So what I will do, I will just might provide only one skill, which is not very risky. I will simply say, hey, you just need to fetch the data. That's it. And do not touch the data. Like this. So let's say this agent will have only one skill. Okay, only one skill. And what is this? I will also do not provide all of the access to this particular person. I will only provide maybe just read access. I will not provide write access. Maybe this person can just do something. So I don't want to just provide all of the access, especially let's say bash access, because bash access is like risky. Okay, because it can just do anything on your system. So I can restrict all of these things as well. So let's say tools. So simply say you have read, and after read you have let's say grep. So you can just search the file. Then let's say globe. That's it. You have just these 3 tools access, and that's it. That's it. So this will help us to do that. Simple. So this is the station. Okay, we understood this thing. So this kind of system, this kind of you can say architecture will ask you to create one sub-agent so that you can just allow this sub-agent just a few things and not everything. So this is your sub-agent. Okay, this is the architecture that we have. Okay, what are the benefits? Let's see. And how this is different from skills, and we will just talk about that. So because skills is totally different thing. Skill is just like the orchestration that you want to perform. Who will utilize the skill depends upon the agent, and who will have the permission to just use all the tools depends upon the tool, or basically depend on the sub-agent or agent. Makes sense? Because skill is totally different thing. Yes, you can define orchestration in agent as well, but you should not. Do you define orchestration in Claude Code? Obviously not, because it utilizes the skill and that's it. So here it will simply spawn one sub-agent, and this sub-agent is specialized in doing some work, which is, let's say, calling the API skills, and that's it. That's it. Simple. So now, because your understanding is like in a good shape, so let's try to read what is written in the documentation. Within the documentation, it's a little bit tricky, but I think you can now understand it. So now let's try to do a quick scan. What is written here? So here it's written that sub-agents are specialized AI assistants. So they are specialized in a specific area. In our example, it can be API extract. It can be anything. It can be like scanning the repository and giving us some suggestions, scanning my code base, giving some suggestions, writing the logs for my coding, everything. That handles specific types of tasks. Each sub-agent runs in its own context window. This is very important. That means what will happen here when we just use your Claude Code directly, parent agent, whatever we are just whatever messages we are sending to Claude Code, that is being stored in the data history. Makes sense? Just to see the context, just to see all the results, right? But now, whenever Claude Code will spawn one sub-agent, it will not share the entire chat history. No, it will be a fresh agent. And now, whenever Claude Code will spawn one sub-agent, it will not share the entire chat history. No, it will be a fresh agent. And it will only pass on the message, the latest message that we have simply asked to do. Simple. The rest of the history will not be shared. So this will save a lot of context window as well, because this is an isolated new window. Simple. Okay. So it runs in its own context window with a custom system prompt, obviously, specific tool access that I just already told you, and independent permissions. Obviously, when Claude encounters a task that matches a sub-agent description, it delegates. It simply delegates the task to that sub-agent, and that's it. Which works independently and return results. Wow. Yes. And what is the benefit of it? We can have multiple sub-agents, and each sub-agent will run in its own context window. Make sense? Okay. And we can also run them in parallel. I will say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. Claude Code will just see all of the sub-agents. What are the sub-agents do I have? Okay, this sub-agent can do this work, this sub-agent can do this work, this sub-agent can do this work. Okay, all of you just do the work. That's it. Simple. Delegate. Simple. But if I do not have any sub-agent for that task, Claude Code will say, okay, let me do it because I'm a senior developer, let me do it for you. Simple. Simple. Okay. Now, let's try to read some important points. These 5 points are the summary of everything that we discussed. Why do we need to use sub-agents? First of all, preserve context. Why? I have already mentioned this thing. By keeping exploration and implementation out of the main conversation. So it will not use your main conversation, main chat history. Simple. And force constraints, because I do not want every agent, or you can say every task, to use all of my skills, to use all of the tools. Let's say I want to perform a task where I want to just provide very restricted permissions. I can create a sub-agent for that. So that by performing that task, it will not utilize all of the tools that is available to Claude Code, because all of the tools are very risky. All of the skills are very, very risky, right? So I can limit that. Simple. Then reuse configuration, obviously, because I can just use my all the sub-agents across projects. I don't need to recreate them. Specialized behavior, this is very obvious. And this is the most important thing, because I want to save cost. So if I want to do the work with some cheap models like Haiku as compared to Sonnet or Opus, I can do the work. Because if I know, if I just want to scan the repository, generate the documentation, why do I need to use Sonnet? Sonnet will be used for like writing the code, writing the better code with documentation within the code, not like outside the code. Simple. So this is the perfect explanation of Claude Code's sub-agents. Okay, and how do we create it? It's very similar to skill. We just need one YAML and some description, but description is very, very brief. It should not be like very, very detailed, because we are not orchestrating anything. We are simply saying you are the agent and you are created for this particular area or this particular task or this category of task, and that's it. How you need to do it, what you will do, I do not know, because you are the agent and you need to explore all of your tools, all of your skills, and that's it. So this is kind of creating one small agent out of your parent agent and providing all of the access like tools, skills, whatever. But here you do not write the orchestration steps. Why? Because you do not want your agent to do the specific steps. Tuck, 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 tuck. No, you create skills for that, for orchestration. Agent can use those skills. You can allow those skills to that particular agent. Simple. So in short, it is a like lighter version of your Claude Code, which doesn't have access to all the tools because you can restrict them. It doesn't have access to all of the skills because you can restrict them. It should not be the same model that you are using as a parent model, because you can just restrict that as well using the model parameter. This is amazing thing, especially here. And how we can just create it, I can just show the example. By the way, it is very similar to that. But when you see in documentation, you will feel much more confident. So this is a simple example. Here, name, description, tools, all the built-in tools, read, glow, grep, and model. Here I can say Haiku. Okay, there are some other parameters as well. Let's say memory. Here we have memory. If you want to persist the memory for that particular sub-agent, because see, it is an isolated agent. And if I want that agent to persist its own memory, I can pass this parameter. It is optional, it is not required, but I can pass it. Then skills, I can pass the skills as well, like what you can do. Simple, right? So we will be creating like at least 1 to 2 sub-agents so that you can just grab the concept. And in first agent, we will not provide skills. We will simply say you have access to just read and grep and globe, and that's it. And in the second agent, we will provide skills as well, because in the skills, we need to write the data as well. Simple. And choose a model, yeah, we also know that. And tools, okay, so we can also disallow tools as well. So we can specify, hey, you do not have write and edit. And this is very important. When you are just trying to perform one task, which is very, very risky, it can just change the code. So you do not want that, right? So you can also disallow tools. You do not have write permission or edit permission. Simple. You can read, you can grep, you can globe, you can run commands as well using bash command just to, let's say, run the files, but you cannot edit those files. You cannot, you can say, change the code within that. So this way you can also say disallow the tools. Wow. Simple. Very good. Okay, and yes. So let's try to create one sub-agent, then only you will understand better. But I hope so that this architecture provided you some understanding like what is this thing. This is nothing but just a lighter version of this Claude Code, and that's it. That's it. Okay, simple. Why people feel confused between skills and sub-agent? Because the definition, like the style of creating it is very similar, but it is not. It is like way too different. Makes sense? Okay. So now let's open our VS Code. So one thing is same, which is creating everything inside .load folder because it is so convenient. You just need to explore your .load and everything is written there. Simple. You do not need to mess up with your entire code base. It's very clean. So we need to create one folder called agents. Simple agents. Okay. I just opened Docker by mistake. Okay. So now in agents, you need to create MD5 again. Oh yeah, just MD5. So again, you can create subfolders as well, similar to skills. Let's say you have one agent called code base reader, code reviewer. Let's create code reviewer because I want to create one sub agent which will review our code and it will write the information into the directory, like what should be improved, but it should not have access to change the code, but it can give me some suggestion. I will read that description, I will read the suggestions, and if I think that I should just make these changes, I can make the changes. Simple. Maybe in my code I missed some edge cases. In my code, maybe I just missed some type hints because in Python we use type hints a lot. So it can give me some suggestion. Write the information, reader, code reviewer. Let's create again. You can create subfolders as well, similar to skills. Let's say you have one agent called code base reader, code reviewer. Let's create code reviewer because I want to create one sub agent which will review our code and it will write the information into the directory, like what should be improved, but it should not have access to change the code, but it can give me some suggestion. I will read that description, I will read the suggestions, and if I think that I should just make these changes, I can make the changes. Simple. Maybe in my code I missed some edge cases. In my code, maybe I just missed some type hints because in Python we use type hints a lot. So it can suggest me those things, right? Simple thing. So what I will do, I will create a dedicated folder for, let's say, code reviewer. Simple. Code reviewer is inside this. I can create code reviewer.md. Simple, because this is the MD file for this. And here again, first of all, we need to set in at least grab that particular thing from documentation to save some time. Not to save some time, obviously, to do not need to make any errors and all. So yeah, both the things. And here we can just paste it like this. And I think I can also provide some description after this YAML. I think so. Just to provide like who are you and who should use you, all of these things. But a description is like self-defined. So let me just see. Yeah, use a playwright tool to navigate. So it is just like providing some more context to help the parent agent, because parent agent will only call this sub agent if it feels like, right? It cannot directly call it until unless you just provide some hints in the command. But yeah, we just need to provide as much context as we can. Simple. Okay. Here the person is using MCP server, but you don't want to worry about MCP server for now. MCP server is like totally different thing, and it is an amazing thing. And we just talk about MCP as well at the end. Do not need to worry. So here the person is using skills. So perfect. Okay, makes sense. So here we have applied name will be, let's say, code reviewer. Okay. Research agent restricted capabilities. No. So I think there was one very nice description for code reviewer. Let me search. Oh yeah, code reviewer. Reviews of code for quality and best practices. Let me just paste it here. And here I can also pass the description as well, like the detailed comments. You are a code reviewer, blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I have said that you are a sub-agent and your area is code reviewing. You are a code reviewer. As you review code, update your agent memory with patterns, conventions, and recurring issue you discover. So basically, I'm saying that you can just do this thing. You are a code reviewer and invoke, analyze the code and provide specific action or feedback, quality, whatever you want to write. Simple. So here, because I want to use a cheap model, so I can simply add one more thing, which is called model. Model, cheap it is good. So model will be Haiku. Simple. And I can also say memory. Memory will be project. Now what is this project? So basically there are three types of memory: user, project, and one more, I think, system. So project memory means it will just keep the memory till the project level. It will not mix the memory with the system level, or you can say user level. User means like the system's root. But I think it's a project level. Okay. And for that I can also create one more folder here. It's called agent memory. Simple. So I can just keep the memory if it feels like. So this is my sub agent. Now you know what I will do? I will ask Claude Code to do the work for me, and I will say, could you please review my code written inside the skills folder and give me some suggestions, like for all the code files that I have written here, like all the data scripts. Yeah, I have scripts here, so it can just give me some suggestions. So let's ask this and let's see if it feels like to call this sub agent. Let's test it. Okay. So I want you to review my code located inside the Claude and then skills directory. I want to review my code in all the scripts located inside the directory. Provide some suggestions as well. Let's see if it automatically calls the subagent or what. I think it has not invoked that particular thing. No, it has not invoked that particular thing, that your agent, subagent basically. Okay, so it has provided me some context, but it has not invoked. Let me just confirm. Okay, yeah, it has simply, let me just enforce it using the prompt and let's see if it works. Let me just open a new session. Use subagents for that. Because I just want to test it, if my subagent is working fine or not. Let's wait. Agent, yeah. So agent is invoked. Very good. So now agent is doing the work for me. Very good. So now it has read everything. And now because I didn't provide any write or edit permission, so it cannot edit any kind of, you can say, my code, and it cannot do anything, but it will simply provide me the suggestions and areas of improvements in my code, and that's it.
Claude.
And it will also use Haiku model because I have defined Haiku model here. So that is also the thing. Makes sense? So it has provided me this amazing summary and overall solid proper structure and documentation, 9 ratio issues found, hard-coded Windows path. Okay, so it is saying that you have hard-coded sub paths, which you can just use path library or OS module. Okay. And you have also imported OS module, but you didn't use it, and all of these things. So everything is there, but it has just figured out so many issues with my code, repetitive code, and indirect KPI calculation, and blah, 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 blah. So you can just use this thing, use this particular sub-agent. And this time it invoked that agent because I obviously provide some hints in my prompt. But when we're doing this work recursively, it will know that we have the sub-agent registered for that as well, which is very common sense. Now I can even enhance the capability of the sub-agent. I can also say, you have permissions for write and edit as well. Write and edit as well. And I can say, you are going to code pattern suggestion, write detailed, not detailed, write feedback in a constructive and actionable manner, focusing on doing code quality, at the location, Claude, and then agents, then code reviewer, and then logs. Okay, and I can say at the location, code quality in the folder with current date and time. Perfect. So now let's use the same prompt again and let's see what it will do. And let's open a new session. Code B, and that's it. So now this time I hope that it will also write some suggestions in my folder because I want it to do that particular thing. Make sense? Okay. So now read, and okay. Now I'll use a code review agent. Wow. So now it's using code review agent to review these scripts because it knows like I want to just do this thing. So now this is a good thing. Now it has invoked code review agent. Very good.
Mustard.
So this way you can actually perform some specific tasks with restrictions and with specific guidance as well. Simple. Okay. And now I have allowed write and edit commands. So it can write the file because in order to write the file it needs write permission. So this is the way we just perform all of these things. Simple. And now let's see what it will do. Synthesizing at current timestamp and blah blah blah.
What
Loss
the words
fishing.
they are using?
So it keeps on just writing these random words just to make you feel happy. Which is a very nice concept, by the way. You improve your vocabulary by reading these words.
Wow.
Okay, so now let's wait until
Yeah,
this task is
that's
done.
what I
And then
was-
we can also perform one new task. So it has written this file, which I asked it to do. Very good. I will say yes, just do this. And this is
I
logs.
thought
Very good. So see,
the
code reviewer,
example that
and
is
it has created this particular file. So this is the
Wow.
summary of my code, which is actually very detailed, man.
Wandering.
Very detailed. Wow.
Great.
Now
Considering.
I can
Everything
create
is
one more sub-agent
ING.
which can utilize this information, and that particular agent will have, let's say, all the permissions to change the code in my files and everything. Then that particular sub-agent can perform these changes in my code.
Why?
There can be a dedicated sub-agent for that. Make sense? Okay.
Last thing.
So this is the way that you can just use to create your sub-agents. Okay, makes sense. So this is the way you should use, or you can say include your sub-agents. Simple. Now, and this is the agent memory. So this agent memory is for, you know, that for code reviewer. So inside the code reviewer, it has just created memory.md file, and this is the memory for this particular sub-agent. So whenever I will be, not I, basically Claude code will spawn this sub-agent can use this memory. So it would know what I did in the past. Because once the work is done, it will simply say, okay, bye-bye. Now just take rest. But whenever it will be invoked or spawned next time, it will use the memory.md file to see the history, like what I did in the past. Simple. And now it has some feedback visualization pattern. So it is just for that particular model. Okay, how it needs to just carry on the conversation for the future use cases. Then pattern code duplication, and this is the thing. Make sense? So it is just for that particular agent, sub-agent. So this way, and I didn't create this folder, code reviewer. It is automatically created inside agent memory because I just created this agent memory folder and that's it. Make sense? Okay. Now, I will also show you that I can also create one sub-agent which will do the orchestration work. So I know that I have these three skills. I have three skills, let's say, fetch API, migrate, and visualize, right? So what I can do, I can create one sub-agent which can orchestrate the work for me, which can actually behave as a data engineer, right? Or let's say orchestrator, just to be more specific. So this orchestrator can fetch the data from the API and migrate the data as well from test create one sub-agent. Now, I will also show you that I can also create one sub-agent which will do the orchestration work. So I know that I have these three skills. I have three skills, let's say, fetch API, migrate, and visualize, right? So what I can do, I can create one sub-agent which can orchestrate the work for me, which can actually behave as a data engineer, right? Or let's say orchestrator, just to be more specific. So this orchestrator can fetch the data from the API and migrate the data as well from the data stored in the you can say folder. I will specify just this thing to the parent agent, and parent agent will see, do I have any sub-agent for this task? Yes, I have the sub-agent. So sub-agent will be invoked with a fresh memory context window, and that sub-agent will invoke or basically use the skill fetch API and migrate, and that's it. Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to do this? Let's see how will it work. So let's try to create one more sub-agent. And by the way, if you just search agent here, if you click on agents, you can even create agent directly from the terminal. Oh, so you can say continue terminal, but I do not like this way. I simply like creating my own agent using everything from scratch. I don't need to be dependent on any particular you can say feature, because this feature will be available in the extension, but this feature might not be available in the terminal or in any other third-party software where I'm just integrating Claude code. So try to become more and more independent when it comes to the coding, and try to use less and less modules from the vendor. This is pro tip, okay? Because if you use more and more modules, you have to be like 24/7 keeping an eye on the upgrades, and you have to change the code. No, only use modules when you feel like, first, it will take a lot of time to rebuild it. Second, it is actually solving a problem. Simple. Otherwise, write your own code. Okay, that's why we have programming languages. Okay, makes sense. Okay, now let's create one more sub-agent. So I will simply create one folder, and I will say orchestrator. Simple. Okay. Within that file, I will create orchestrator.md. Okay, and here I will simply copy this in.
Okay, name.
And orchestrator, and let me just close all of the unnecessary files. So this is orchestrator. Descriptions. Orchestrates the execution of, let's say, data fetching, from APIs, and then data migration into the new folder using skills. Simple. Tools I have provided: read, grep, globe, bash, write, edit. Do I need to provide any other tool? I think these are enough. Haiku is fine. Memories project, perfect. So how did we just write this in? U, okay? So you can say U. U are an orchestrator agent which coordinates the execution of various skills to achieve a larger goal. Primary responsibilities to fetch the data from the APIs and message from the folder to the user skills. Perfect. Okay, I think this body context is enough. Let's see if it will work. And I can also say skills. And if you want to pass multiple values in the form of list in the YAML, because this is a YAML format, you have to use something called as tab and then hyphen. So the hyphen will be like skills 1. So first skill is fetch API. And then you have the second skill called migrate. Yeah, these 2 skills I want to provide. So in the YAML, it is equivalent to a list. So I have passed a list of the skills. Simple. I can also show you if I can find a good example here. So this is like just a YAML way of dealing with it. And here I can just show you where skill. Let me just search. Yeah, here, see? So this is the way. You can also click or hit tab, but ideal way is using double space, but nowadays you can even use tab. It was throwing some errors in the beginning when we used to use tab with the YAML files, but now I think it has understood that we will not use double space, we have to use tab. So now let's try to ask Claude Code. I want to orchestrate my skills, fetch API, and migrate to fetch the data and store it in the folder. Let me just try to invoke it and let's see if it will automatically call it, or I have to just put some hints in the prompts. Let's see. Okay, so I will help you orchestrate the fetch API. This is important since you have the orchestrator agent. Oh, I can use it to coordinate this workflow. So it identified that I have this particular agent. Okay, so now what is it saying? Before I proceed, I need a few details. API endpoint, target folder. Okay, so now this parent agent is like just trying to ask some questions just for the sub agent so that sub agent can utilize that particular thing. Makes sense? But we know that everything is written in the skills itself, so it doesn't need to worry about anything. Alternatively, if you already have these details configured in your existing scripts, like this thing, I can review those and use orchestrator to run the workflow. Would you like to check your existing files? So I can say all of the URLs and info is there in the skills. Sub agent is good to go. So it is just trying to make the process smoother before simply invoking the orchestrator agent without any context. So it is taking care of that particular thing. This is the beauty of this sub-agent architecture. It will not directly invoke or make the tool call and that's it. No. It will make sure that orchestrator agent, that sub-agent has everything because that is running in the isolated context window. That has nothing to do with the parent agent after it is invoked. Make sense? So it is actually saving your tokens before simply running your sub-agent because sub-agent can do a lot of things, right? So now what it has done, fetch API, allow write to fetch API.py. We already have fetch, or we did not have fetch API. Okay, I think we didn't have fetch API.py. Yes. So it can script fetch API.py. So I remember we didn't have the script. So now it has created scripts in the fetch API as well, which is good. It will save our tokens in the future use case as well because we were just running the command in the terminal. Allow write migrate.py. I think I have migrate.py convert to parquet.py. So I want to orchestrate the skills. Okay, let's say yes. Let me just see what it has done. Migrate.py. So it has just written migrate.py. Okay. So in the skills, perfect. And .csv. So it has created a new file, but I was expecting it to use my existing file, convert to parquet.py. So let me just check, maybe I didn't mention it very specifically in skills. And this behavior is affected because when you are just creating the skills, you have to iterate it through multiple times, and that is totally fine. And let's wait, and I know it will just do the work. And let me just see the skills. If I just go to skills, skill empty file, and if I just read it, you need to run this migrate. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. I see what happened. So do you know what? First of all, this work is done. In our skill, we mentioned the wrong file name. So when it asked for migrate.py, there was no file called migrate.py. So it created the migrate.py file for us so that it can just use it for the future use case. Wow. So nice of him or her. So this was the thing. Okay. I was like, I didn't use my existing file. So now I know why I didn't. But yeah, it's fine. That's how you just enrich your skills. Okay. So now let me just check if it has done the work. So I will simply go to data and I can see the latest data for today. Very good. All the CSV files are there. In the migrate, I should see today's data. Yes, I have all, but this is just CSV files. Yes, because it didn't run this particular file convert.parquet. This is my mistake. Okay, so totally up to me. Okay, so I can just correct it right now. Convert to parquet, because obviously it doesn't know that it needs to convert that particular file in the, you can say, parquet. We just inform that you just need to migrate the data in the migrate folder. Simple. So that makes sense. Okay, so that is something which is up to me. Okay, so I have corrected it, so it is fine. So that's how you can just create these sub agents which will take care of independent tasks. Now you know what is the difference that we have simply faced here? Our parent Claude Code agent didn't run these particular skills. Our sub agent ran these skills and using Haiku model. Wow. And I can also ask Claude Code multiple tasks in one go. Do this, do that, scan my code base, run the orchestrator agent, blah, blah. It will spawn 2 different agents automatically. And it will do the work. But for that, we have much more formal way, by the way. And to be honest, it is not recommended in the beginning stages because when you spawn multiple parallel agents, every agent is running it in its own context window. So that can utilize a lot of tokens.
I feel
Makes sense? So you should not spawn multiple parallel agents. You should behave smartly. You should create sub agents, obviously, because sub agents can do the dedicated work, but you should not just spawn 10 agents together. Here, do the work, do the work, do the work. What? You need to supervise it, right? And just for this particular task, because obviously in the industry, not as you, like in the industry, they are running like they are spawning multiple agents parallelly, right? So for that particular concept, they have introduced something called as agent lead. Yes. So agent lead agents makes sense. So you should not spawn multiple parallel agents. The agent is running to your code, multiple tasks in one go. Right. So that's how you can just create these sub agents which will take care of independent tasks. Now you know what? What is the difference that we have simply faced here? Our parent Claude Code agent didn't run these particular skills. Our sub agent ran these skills. And we're using Haiku model. Wow. And I can also ask Claude Code multiple tasks in one go. Do this, do that, scan my code base, run the orchestration, blah, blah. It will spawn two different agents automatically. And it will do the work. But for that, we have much more formal way, by the way. And to be honest, it is not recommended in the beginning stages because when you spawn multiple parallel agents, every agent is running it in its own context window. So that can utilize a lot of tokens. Makes sense? So you should not spawn multiple parallel agents. You should behave smartly. You should create sub agents, obviously, because sub agents can do the dedicated work, but you should not just spawn 10 agents together. Here, do the work, do the work, do the work. What? You need to supervise them, right? And just for this particular task, because obviously in the industry, not as you, like in the industry, they are running like they are spawning multiple agents parallelly, right? So for that particular concept, they have introduced something called as agent lead. Yes. So agent lead takes care of that particular all of the sub agents. By default, agent lead is turned off, and I would also recommend you to just gain the knowledge around it, but do not try it directly because you are in the learning phase. You have to just make so many mistakes now before directly jumping onto the agent leads, because agent lead will just spawn multiple agents together. That's it. And more the number of instances, more the number of tokens, and the more the number of, you can say, your API calls and your cost. Simple, but still, obviously, we are mastering Claude Code, so we will investigate and we will learn about agent lead as well, but it is turned off by default. Okay, let me just tell you this thing. But it is used to spawn multiple agents in parallel because your Claude Code can create team leads as well. Okay, now those sub agents will directly report to the team lead. They will not directly report to the Claude Code, which is the parent model. Make sense? So they're simply trying to delegate the tasks and they're just simply trying to replicate the things that we see in the corporate. They are also doing the same thing, which is like obvious because they're just AI is just trying to you can say not replace, but they are just trying to mimic the same thing, right? Because that's the only agenda. Simple. So they're also doing the same thing. Simple. So now let's try to learn about the team leads, or basically agent lead or lead agent. What is this thing? Okay, let's try to. So now let's try to talk about agent team leads. Okay, and this is very similar to those corporate team leads. Okay, so now what is the difference? Okay, I what is the difference? Because we have understood sub agent and amazing explanation. You know what? I also love this explanation. When I was learning this thing, this was not that much clear to me, but now this explanation I would say the best is given to you. So now let me just explain one thing before jumping onto the team agent because you will see the difference. Like what is the major difference? And let's talk about the this thing. So let's say we have this agent. Okay. Now I created this agent. Yes.
Should we have time?
This agent. Okay. I created this agent, and this agent is running in the isolated context window. That means it is running in the isolated context window. Let's say this is the sub agent 1, and this is running in the isolation. Wow. He does not worry about anything. Okay. He doesn't have to worry about any teammate, anyone. He just reports to his manager or as a senior data engineer. He is the most sincere employee. Okay. And he works by himself, and this guy doesn't have any kind of middleman. Okay. So this guy directly talks to the Claude Code. Wow. Okay, simple. Similarly, we have another agent that we just created. And you already saw. Let's say this agent. And this agent will also directly talk to the Claude Code, to the main agent. Okay. Simple. To the main agent. Okay. Now this is isolated. They cannot talk to each other. No, this is not allowed. This is not allowed. You cannot talk to each other. Okay. Bro, there's no icon for this. So let's say they cannot talk to each other. Why? Because each sub agent is running in the independent context window. This agent is different. This agent is different. Yes, different, but they cannot even talk to each other. Simple. Okay. Now, when we have the concept of agent team or basically agent lead or lead agent, whatever you want to say, there are so many names, but the official name which is written in the documentation, which is agent team. Simple. So now in the agent team, what will happen? First of all, we will be having the Claude Code, which is the parent or main agent. Simple. Okay. This is there. Now, along with this Claude Code, okay, main agent. Now this main agent, what it will do? It will obviously spawn multiple agents like this. Let's say 1, like this, 2. Okay, let's say 1 more. Let's create 1 more. Let's say this one. Okay, there are 3 agents, 3 sub-agents. Now, what will happen? Instead of spawning multiple sub-agents, Claude Code, this parent agent, okay, senior agent, will create a kind of list. Okay, will create a kind of list. Shared list. So this is like shared tasks list. Simple. So it will create this thing. And we need to achieve this thing. We do not care who will do which work. Okay, obviously we do care about this thing. We have dedicated people, but here what will happen? This will be dedicated to these 3 agents. Okay. I'm hungry. So 1, 2, and 3. Simple. I'm hungry. So
Bro, even I'm
1, 2, and 3. Simple. Now these 3 agents can talk to each other as well. Wow. This is different. Okay. They can talk to each other. Let's say like this. Okay. Or let's create just 2-way. It is very obvious. So they can just talk to each other. This is the difference. and they can share the results as well. They can share the context window as well. Wow, this is the only difference. Okay, and they all communicate through this particular shared channel. Okay, they do their work, they do their work, they do their work, but they also talk to each other. So what can happen? We can just create multiple subagents, and this Claude code will just create a shared task list. Okay, and it will say we have subagents to do the work. So now what will happen? This subagent will say I can just take this task, I can do this. This subagent will say I can do that task, I can just take this task, and the third one will say the same thing. Now because these two, let's say, agents have shared skills as well, so they will delegate the task between them. They'll say, hey, you do this thing, I will do that thing. Perfect. Oh wow, this is actually autonomous, but it has some restrictions because this is recently launched and this is in the beta version. And even the Claude team is saying that hey, this is in the beta version and we know there are some issues with this particular architecture. We are working on it, so you can just play around it, you can just test it. But if you want to implement the real world solution, you should be cautious. Simple. And cautious as in like in the good way, in the healthy way, that we are just working on it and this will be implemented very soon. So let me just show you run agent teams. So see, this is the notice. Agent teams are experimental and disabled by default. So you cannot even directly use it. Enable them by adding Claude code experimental agent teams to your settings.json. Now what is the settings.json? So inside your VS Code, inside this .load folder, you can create settings.json file, and you will see that settings.json will be just working with MCPs. Okay, so you can create settings.json and you can enable it. I want to enable it. Okay, you want to enable, you can do it. Okay, just test it. Okay, and agent teams have no. So you can create settings.json and you can enable it. I want to enable it. Okay, you want to enable, you can do it. Okay, just test it. Okay, and agent teams have no limitation. They know this thing around session resumption, task coordination, shutdown behavior. Like when one sub agent will shut down, when one agent will just resume the, you can say, context window. So they have these things. But this is really nice. This is something which will actually perform all of the things autonomously, and this is actually very good. Okay, obviously maybe they would need to just do a lot of improvements in their LLMs. Because everything is LLM, brain is LLM. Currently they have Opus 4.6. In future they will launch Opus 5.0 maybe, and then that LLM can handle this thing. Because see, what is happening under the hood? Why did I show that very basic light version of Claude code in the beginning? I wanted you to realize that everything is actually a kind of tool call. But the efficiency of tool call depends upon the architecture that you're using. Plus the brain. Because the brain will say, call this tool with these arguments, with these particular things. Make sense? And now, unlike sub-agents, which run within a single session and can only report back to the main agent, you can also interact with the individual teammates, the same thing that I just mentioned, directly without going to the lead. So they don't need to just report back to the manager. They can also talk to each other. Hey bro, what are you doing? I'm simply ingesting the data since yesterday. Okay, let me just help you out and I can just also do the work. Let me just take some of your tasks. Simple. Now the lead is not actually worrying about who is doing the task. They simply know that our tasks are being done. That's it. This is called teamwork, right? That's why they have just called it as like agent teams. So they've just created a team around it. And now this agent is actually working as a team lead. Right? So what team lead will do? Team lead will say, I want to do this work. Okay, let me just do it. And it's actually working as a team lead. Right? So what team lead will do? Team lead will say, I want to do this work. Okay, let me just do it. And it will just share all the tasks. And it will also do some tasks. Team lead also perform some tasks, some senior level tasks. But all the junior level things, all the dedicated tasks will be delegated. Simple? Simple? Okay. And now we can just look at this beautiful diagram. So, sub-agent, this is the main agent. They just spawn sub-agent. Okay. Spawn sub-agent, spawn sub-agent. And this is L. Okay. And now we can just alert tasks. But all the junior level things, all the dedicated.
It's very dirty color.
Task will be delegated. Simple? Simple? Okay. And now we can just look at this beautiful diagram. So, sub-agent, this is the main agent. They just spawn sub-agent. Okay. Spawn sub-agent, spawn sub-agent. And this is the work that they need to do. And that's it. They simply report back into the main agent. That's it. But with the agent team, they just create a shared task list and then they just create teammate instead of sub-agent because they are not like now sub-agent. They are like teammates. They communicate directly, okay, with the main agent through the shared task and also communicate with each other. Wow. This is amazing. I know like what are they just trying to do? They're just simply trying to run a loop within the team agents and they're just simply trying to call agent from the main graph. So it is actually a complex one, but it is doable. See, when you have funding of billions of dollars, you can just build anything. It's not impossible. It's not impossible at all. When you have like great developers, you have great funding, you can build this thing. It's not something very good like, whoa, what are they building, man? LLMs are good because obviously we do not know how to build LLMs like Sonnet, but these graphs are like not very big thing. If you know how to build graphs, if you know how to work with nodes, orchestration, edges, and all those things, and if you're a data engineer, I would say graph building is the easiest thing that you can do. Why? Because who are we? Who are we? Data engineers. We build pipelines. We build graphs. So yeah. So this is about agent lead. This is a new thing. Obviously, we just need to gain the knowledge around it conceptually, but not practically. Okay, very good. So this is all about your agents and sub-agents and this new feature called agent team in Claude. So now let's talk about this important pillar of Claude code. So now we know that we can work with Claude code. We have seen how we can just create new skills, orchestrate, work and everything. Anjana, being a data professional or being a developer, let's say, we sometimes, let's say, directly get onboarded on the project. Yes. Can Claude Code help us in that particular area as well? I would say yes. For example, let's take a very simple example and let's take a data engineering example. So let's say you are a developer. Where is Rohan? Let's say Rohan is cute little guy. So let's say this developer, okay, is newly onboarded on the project. Okay. Now the project or basically organization is building a project around Apache Airflow, which is a very in-demand technology right now. Because not now, like it has been like in demand since the beginning, but now it is being even more in demand. Why? Because of its latest upgrade to Apache Airflow 3.0, and everyone knows the power of it. So yeah, and if you want to learn Apache Airflow 3.0, I have created a dedicated course on Apache Airflow 3.0 as well. Simply search Apache Airflow and Anshlama on YouTube. You will find that as well. So everything is available on YouTube. Everything is available on this channel. That's why I'm simply saying hit the subscribe button so that you can find all the resources. So let's say this person, this developer, is working on a project, and project is built on Airflow. Simple. Okay. Apache Airflow. This is the project. Now, what we need to do, or let's say what this person can do. So this is the project. This person is working on this project, and he's directly onboarded. And this is the scenario as well in the industry. You will rarely be onboarded on the fresh project, on the raw project, because each project right now in the industry is either migration project or let's say optimization project or enhancement project or blah blah blah. Simple, right? So let's say you are also onboarded on the project where you are working with the teammates, senior developers, junior developers, and they're like proper team for it. So you are working in this project. Simple. Okay. So let me let's say project. Now the thing is, in this project, you know Claude Code, right? So how can you utilize Claude Code skills here, like your Claude Code skills here in the Apache Airflow project? How? That is the question. It is very easy. It is very, very easy, and it will actually boost your performance in the project. You can actually write a lot of code, a lot of DAGs automatically. Yeah, I will just show you totally it up. And I will also show you the step-by-step guide, like how should you start, how should you get the context first of all whenever you are working on the project. Okay, so let's try to see that particular thing. Okay, this will be very helpful, and I will also tell you some amazing commands, okay, which are newly added because Claude Code is growing rapidly. So this is my VS Code editor, and inside this VS Code editor, I have created this folder called Airflow project. Simple. Don't worry, you will find this folder with this particular repository, so you can also try and test your commands of Claude Code with this project. Simple. Now I will simply open this folder. So everyone knows that Airflow is used to build DAGs. DAGs means directed acyclic graphs. Even if you do not know about Airflow, do not need to worry, we are not learning about Airflow. You can treat it like one of the technology that we use in data engineering. Okay, simple, very good.
Yeah,
so now let's say you are a data engineer onboarded on the Airflow project. This project can be a DBT project. This project can be, let's say, any project. Simple. But just for the simplicity, just for the explanation, I have used Airflow project because this is one of the most relevant topics. So inside the Airflow project, when you are onboarded, you already have some DAGs. See, data fetch, data import. Wow, yes, you already have some DAGs. So now, obviously, being a new developer onboarded on the project, you first need to get the context. What is this thing? What the things are already being written in DAGs. So traditionally, you will go to each code file and you will just try to read the file. You will try to understand it, and it will take a lot of time. And in this particular DAG folder, do you know what? I have built assets. Assets is the most recent advancement in the Apache Airflow era. Okay, yes, Apache Airflow 3.0 era, basically. So even if you know Airflow, even if you are a senior or let's say mid-level data engineer, you might not know what is an asset and what is this thing written. It's possible, right? It's possible because not everyone knows about assets. If you are updated with the knowledge that you have around the Apache Airflow world, you know like this is an asset. I can just go through the code. But just imagine that when you don't even know what is an asset, how do you just proceed further? Obviously, right? So let's imagine that you do not know what is an asset. That's why I just built this code here in this project so that you would also feel that hey, I need to understand what is this thing. So what I will do, I will simply go to Claude Code and I will say, I have an Airflow project at Claude Airflow. By the way, it will automatically fetch it, but when you just provide some context, you can save some tokens. Okay. Project at this location. Simple. I want to get the context and I want to understand what's going on in the DAGs in brief. Simple. So create a readme.md file for me for that project inside the Airflow project. Simple.
But we
Project
can
code is simple.
do that.
Hit enter.
Why do we need to?
Now what it will do? It will first of all try to read your DAGs. See, it will try to read those DAGs. Okay. Then, I just provided .load. I just provided wrong destination, so that is why it automatically corrected that thing. Okay, sorry. So that is fine. So I simply write .load and then slash then this thing, but it is available on the root directory. So it corrected it automatically. That is the power of Claude Code. So now it has read both the files. See, now it will try to generate a README file for me so that I can actually analyze it. It gives okay, it is ready. By the way, let me say yes. And you can see readme.md. Very good. Now I can just read this README file. Okay, I can just close this window and that's it. In order to render it, I have already installed an extension, which is this one, that can render the README file. You can also download it from the extensions. Simply search Markdown extension and you will just find it. Okay. So this is Airflow project, data file and orchestration project using Apache Airflow. Perfect. This is project overview. This is the first DAG. This is the second DAG. DAG uses asset-based orchestration. Wow. Asset-based orchestration means data level orchestration or data first orchestration. Obviously, we are not learning Apache Airflow here, but yeah. Even if you do not know about these things, you can get the context directly from your project. Wow. And project structure is this one. Amazing. It has literally created the project structure as well. Obviously, you will see that thing in the repository, but you have also got some one-liner summarization as well, right? Simple. And then DAG overview. Now it has provided. Amazing, man. First of all, this has understood the code, and now this has literally translated that technical code that you might not understand because of upgrades in the Apache Airflow 3.0, because of assets, because of everything. Now you can understand the code using your natural language. See, it is saying this is the workflow, prepare storage. That means for your asset, fetch API data, then transform data, then materialize asset. Wow. And this is the exact thing I'm doing in the DAG. Exact thing. And I can even show you. See, if I just go to data fetch, you will see that thing here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tasks. Wow, man. Then these are the tasks 1, 2, 3, 4. It is also explaining you the functions, the tasks that I'm creating with all the, you can say, necessary information. Amazing. Then second tag. Wow. Key features. Model approach uses Airflow's asset object for cross tag dependencies. Very good. Loose coupling. Yes, that's the advantage of asset. Automated triggering. Yes. Data pipeline, extract, transform, load. Configuration is this one. And it has also defined you the ascent definition, which is very important for this entire tag. And this is produced by this tag. And do you know what? I'm really happy with this particular area. Because I was not expecting that it will tell me which tag is producing the asset and which tag is consuming the asset. But this is amazing. Because the latest asset bundles, or you can say asset features available in the Apache Airflow is very, very new. And this has also mentioned the sample data flow, and this is amazing. And it also told you like how to run these things. Oh man, amazing. Amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. So that's how you can literally scan the entire project and can get a very simple README file out of it so that you can understand what's going on in the project. Now, being a developer, you do not need to contact the senior developers. Hey, can you please explain me the project? Hey, what is this asset? Hey, what is this code? What is this function? Why do you use this function? Nothing. Now you just need to sit on your system, run some Claude code command because now you are educated in this particular era of Claude code. Simply understand everything. And the people, the team around you would think, this person is just onboarded. This person didn't even ask me anything. Like, what is this function? What is that function? How? How this person is like able to work directly on the project? Because this person knows how to use Claude code. Simple. Simple. And this person doesn't copy and paste your code to ChatGPT to understand each part with hallucinations. This person uses Claude code. Simple. And this README file is amazing. I'm telling you. Just go to any project. You won't find any README file with this much of simplicity and detail. Simple. This is amazing. This is amazing. This way you can actually work with any data engineering or any technology with Claude code. Because Claude code has models, Haiku, Sonnet, Opus. They are well trained on all of the frameworks, all of the technologies. They can literally understand your code better than them who built them. I'm telling you this thing. Wow. So whenever you're onboarded on a project, simply follow this exercise. This is very useful when you have complex tags. Currently we just have 2 tags. Just think about the scenario when you'll be having like, let's say, hundreds of tags. You will, and not just you, everyone would spend at least a month to understand what's going on. And people start judging you that, hey, this person is not performing, this person is not doing that thing, this person is not doing that thing. I know this happens with the consultancy-based companies. I know this thing. And I literally hate that particular pattern of corporate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But now, shock those people. Okay, give a shock. Because now you know how to perform. You know how to become better.
But the problem is they won't allow you to run Claude code inside their project or something. Most of the companies still they are blocking, or they have blocked it because they are still don't rely on this. Either they are building their own agents or they are exploring the things still, because they can't blindly rely on Claude code or something. And also on the employees, like whether they first they have to train them so that they don't want to expose everything. So yeah, still
not becoming better than anyone, you need to become better than yourself. Okay, so this is about how you can integrate Claude code with any technology. Now you can replace Airflow with DBT, and DBT is like one of those technologies which like every company is using right now. You can integrate with that thing. Just think about Apache Spark when you have so many notebooks. Simply use this thing. Simple, simple. This way you can integrate Claude code with any project. Claude code is, yes, that developer who knows how to work with data engineering, pipelines, data sets, everything. Now you can even ask Claude code that, hey, I want to create one more tag which is dependent on this particular tag. Could you please do it for me? It will build a tag for you. You already know how to do that. You can even create a skill as well for that particular thing to do it recursively. Simple, simple. That's how Claude code is not replacing you. Claude code is actually making you much more productive. And sooner you will become more productive, better position you will gain in your organization. Because obviously after some time, everyone would know Claude code as well. But the ones who already know Claude code will gain some importance within the organization right now, which is the best time. Because when this thing is like becoming common, everyone would know Claude code. Everyone would know like how to do these things. Timing is everything, bro. You need to just learn Claude code right now, and you need to show that you can say efficiency, productivity in your organization right now. Because after a few months, I would say everyone would use Claude code. It's not a big deal. It's not rocket science. It's very easy to use. But it's like how efficiently you can integrate it with your day-to-day activities. Simple. Okay, nice. So now what are you going to do? This is all about your Claude code integration with project. Now I will just tell you about some commands that are very, very handy. Okay.
Okay, so let's how much time? Okay, 4 minutes. Let's finish 5.
The first command that I want to just talk about is very new, by the way. It is recently added again. So this command is called BTW. BTW means by the way, Claude code.
Okay, so I will continue tomorrow, and that's all for the day. Actually, tomorrow I'm gonna finish it, and I will do hands-on. Let's see if my credits got credited or not. Like I just said $0 there is still. I hope they will credit it soon. Maybe tomorrow I'll see. And I have to do hands-on also. So I'm planning like okay. So I think maybe almost 1 hour it will take, and okay, I will create few skills and I will experiment. But it feels like it's not a big deal. Claude Claude, I was thinking something big skills. Once learn, it will be easy. So after that, I'm planning to start machine learning. Maybe. Okay, what I'm thinking. Maybe first I'll explore a few more tools, so that I'll get basic knowledge of all, and then I'll jump into the machine learning fundamentals part, and then AI engineering. So I have a lot of things to cover up. So for that, maybe I know there. If you see this person, Krishnayak, so I purchased a few courses of him. So I'm thinking like maybe I'll learn them, or yeah, it will be a little tricky as compared to this, but I can do it. It's definitely, because when I'm streaming, it's pretty easy. I can be. I know I will be. You can see my light is flickering. It's like, if you see, there is a green color light that is still there, and my landlord said like, okay, someone will come and install it. And one day he was knocking the door, but I was busy, like I was in the call, so I said maybe later you do. Right now I'm in call. Okay, so I think that's all for the day. I don't know if anyone will be waking up till this time. Yeah, but no problem. Now I'm going to bed. I mean, yeah, now I can sleep peacefully, and we'll see tomorrow what's going to happen. Actually, there are a lot of things to do, cover up, and I don't know what is happening. I'm not able to manage the time. I feel like uh, I'm waking up. I'm living nowadays life like a robot. I'm not getting spending any time on entertainment. Maybe even if I'm consuming something, that is also like pretty hectic life nowadays going. And I don't know. Maybe let's see how long it will go like this. But first thing I want to master the AI. I don't know why. Maybe then I'll get more packages, big amount and all. I don't know. So yeah, it all depends with. And today I wasn't able to finish the DSA. This is first time. For the first time I'm not. I haven't solved the one DSA problem. I tried for 2 hours and I watched video. Then after that I thought, okay, let's drop. Otherwise it will be overwhelming. So tomorrow's goal. What will be the goal of tomorrow? Actually, time is flowing so fast. I don't know what is happening. Maybe I need 48 hours in a day. Then I'll be like a zombie. I don't know. Yeah, so that's all for the day. Thank you so much. Bye bye. And see you soon. And what we say? One more thing. Something we say. Uh, Sleep well and wake up refreshed. I'm just learning new phrases, man. That's why I'm saying. Okay, my neighbors are will be thinking like what he is doing till late night, and maybe he will ask again, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. What are you doing till late night? I can hear your voice, and I'll say nothing. I'm gonna say same. Thank you so much. Bye bye. I mean, yeah, enjoy, and if you are learning something new, just let me know. Maybe if you have any suggestions, let me know, man. I don't know if anyone will watch till this time. I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much.